Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry my voice is a little off today. I got sick again. I don't know. I get sick a lot. It's been this way my whole life. I think I have some kind of autoimmune something. Because I get sick very easily. And I've had this problem um since I was a baby. Um, so Yeah, I'm feeling sick. I'm not entirely sure what it is. My throat hurts. It's inflamed. My sinuses are kind of messed up. I'm tired. I feel so weak and tired. Like I just have no energy. Um, but I'm hanging in there. So I had some energy a little bit right now, and my daughter went to bed. So I figured, why not read the Bible and spend some time with our Lord? You know, I want to keep making these videos. I want to keep going. And, my daughter has not been consistently taking her naps lately. And I have to be honest. Right now, when I sat down because I make these videos in my closet. That's where I pray. That's where I spend time with God in prayer and reading the Bible and doing these videos is in my tiny little closet. I don't know. It's very comforting. It's like my little mini prayer room or something. I love it. And I my daughter hasn't been taking her naps, and so right now she just went to bed. It's late. I don't know. It's like almost midnight, and I sat down and I started to pray, and I was like, man, God, like I knew that time I had with you during her naps wasn't going to be forever because eventually she's going to grow up. She's not going to need her naps anymore. I'm going to have other children, but I'm not going to be able to like do what I'm doing now with just her, because I'm going to have other children to juggle. And I'm not pregnant. I'm just saying in the future, we'll have more children. But, um, so I just kind of like, I knew that that time I had with God during her nap time wasn't going to be forever. And I just felt a little like sad because I got, that was like the time of day where I really got to have like good quality time with God. Yes, I pray at night after, she goes to bed sometimes, a lot actually, more lately. And then I'm trying to start praying in the morning. But there was something about the middle of the day that I don't know what it was. I felt like that was when my prayers were the strongest and then the deepest, and I was able to really just connect with God. And so I was just a little like, kind of like, oh, like my daughter has not been taking her naps for days now. And so I'm just like, I think she might be done with her midday nap. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I'm feeling just a little bummed about that. So and I don't know if like other people do this, but like, do you have like dedicated time to God where like your family just, you're like, okay, this is my time with God, you know, and you have that time, because people do that with the gym, working out, um, and like other hobbies, that people do. So it's like, I wonder if people have that with God. Because I don't know, I kind of would like that. I kind of would like, to have like that time with God. Because like right now, I'm having to make that time with God around my daughter's schedule because she's only 2 and I don't have like anyone to watch her while I go spend, a half hour with God. I mean, maybe on my husband's days off, I could do that, but I wouldn't be able to do it on his days that he works. So that's why I've been kind of like trying to do it, wake up before she gets up and then do it after she goes to bed. Because that, that she's asleep. So that's like guaranteed time. But um, sometimes I like wonder, like, if it would be kind of nice to just be like, okay, I'm gonna go pray, you know. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. Anyways, well, I'm gonna stop talking because my throat's like just not happy today. But I hope everyone's having a good week. It's almost at the end already. It's crazy. It went by really quickly. And just in case there's any newcomers, whether you found my videos now or in the future, whatever, I just want to say that if you found my videos, I pray that you give God a chance, whether it's coming back to Him, being reminded to pray or read the Bible, or, you know, maybe this is your first, you're just barely like starting to kind of being open-minded to God. Give Him a chance. Start praying, start reading the Bible. It's the best thing you'll ever do. God is worth it. And it's hard sometimes, but it's worth it. He will bring you out of the darkness into the light. He can help you. He can save you. He is the way, the truth, the life, everything. You know, that verse in the Bible where it says that, I don't know exactly, it's like, it says like, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I mean, that couldn't be more true. And the more I go down this path, the more I see that. And so I just say, you know, give Him a chance. It's the best thing you'll ever do. And be patient and just open your heart to Him. Truly seek Him out, and it'll be the best thing you do. So you're welcome to read the Bible with me if you want, or not. Doesn't really. I just want you to read the Bible and pray. I don't care how you know, who helps to bring you to do that, whether it's me or someone else or by yourself. That's just important that you start praying and reading the Bible. If you want to check out my playlist on me sharing my journey while getting to know God and reading the Bible for the first time, it's on my channel on a playlist. Day 1 and 2 are the only days that don't have the recording of the chapters. All the rest do. So check it out. You know, especially too if you're like me and it's like your first time reading the Bible and sometimes you feel kind of like crazy or alone or you're struggling, check out my videos, you know, because I share what it's really been like day to day getting to know God and reading the Bible. And so, you know, I'm like really sharing that real experience with you guys. So check them out if you want. If not, no worries. And let's get into today's chapters.
Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils and scourge you in their synagogues. You will be brought before governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, do not worry about how or what you should speak, for it will be given to you in that hour what you should speak. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father who speaks in you. Now brother will deliver up brother to death, and a father his child. And children will rise up against parents and cause them to be put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in this city, flee to another. For assuredly I say to you, you will not have gone through the cities of Israel before the Son of Man comes. A disciple is not above his teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for a disciple that he be like his teacher, and a servant like his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more will they call those of his household? Therefore, do not fear them. For there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. Whatever I tell you in the dark, speak in the light. And what you hear in the ear, preach on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. But rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a copper coin? And not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore. You are of more value than many sparrows. Therefore, whoever confesses me before men, him I will also confess before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies will be those of his own household. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me. He who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he who receives a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whoever gives one of these little ones only a cup of cold water in the name of a disciple, assuredly I say to you, he shall by no means lose his reward. Now it came to pass, when Jesus finished commanding his 12 disciples, that he departed from there to teach and to preach in their cities. And when John had heard in prison about the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples and said to him, Are you the coming one, or do we look for another? Jesus answered and said to them, Go and tell John the things which you hear and see. The blind see, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he who is not offended because of me. As they departed, Jesus began to say to the multitudes concerning John, What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man clothed in soft garments? Indeed, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I say to you, and more than a prophet, for this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. Assuredly I say to you, among those born of women, there has not risen one greater than John the Baptist, but he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you are willing to receive it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. But to what shall I liken this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their companions and saying, We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We mourned to you, and you did not lament. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, He has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Look, a glutton and a wine-bibber, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. But wisdom is justified by her children. Then he began to rebuke the cities in which most of his mighty works had been done, because they did not repent. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon in the day of judgment than for you. And you, Capernaum, who are exalted to heaven, will be brought down to Hades. For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say to you that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for you." At that time, Jesus answered and said, "I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and prudent, and have revealed them to babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in your sight. All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and the one to whom the Son wills to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples were hungry, and began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath." But he said to them, "Have you not read what David did when he was hungry, he and those who were with him? How he entered the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests? Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Yet I say to you that in this place there is one greater than the temple. But if you had known what this means, 'I desire mercy and not sacrifice,' you would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath." Now when he had departed from there, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man who had a withered hand. And they asked him, saying, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" That they might accuse him. Then he said to them, "What man is there among you who has one sheep, and if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not lay hold of it and lift it out? Of how much more value, then, is a man than a sheep? Therefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he stretched it out, and it was restored as whole as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and plotted against him, how they might destroy him. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew from there, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. Yet he warned them not to make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, "Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will declare justice to the Gentiles. He will not quarrel nor cry out, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and smoking flax he will not quench, till he sends forth justice to victory, and in his name Gentiles will trust."
I think that it's so interesting how do I want to say this? Like, we have more information now than they did back then, because they were reading only what they were given at that time. And now we have the full Bible, like we have the full, information, and they didn't have all of that. And so they were just going based off of what they were taught. And I don't know, the extent of how the laws were taught, but it is interesting how, God, well, Jesus is really he's trying to get them to see that, yeah, there's rules and laws and, but they were made for reasons. And sometimes, you have to, there's you have to use your common sense, like you know, if there's, like they said, if there's a sheep that falls on the Sabbath and you're not supposed to do work on the Sabbath, are you not gonna like work and try to get the sheep out? It's like, or it's kind of like, um, say, you know, I can't even think of an example right now. Like, like if someone's choking and dying and you're speeding to get to the hospital for help. Like, yeah, you're breaking the laws by speeding, but it's like, there's a good reason for it. Is it good to break the laws and not follow them? No, the laws are for our benefit. It's not good to speed because there's danger that comes with speeding. you know so obviously, God created the laws for our benefit, but sometimes you have to kind of like also use your, you know I don't want to say critical thinking or like common sense, because I feel like that's the wrong words to use, but yeah, like your common sense. You kind of have to realize, and that's the thing. If you know God and you get to know Him like truly, you will understand that He's not going to punish you for working on the Sabbath to save the sheep. Just like if you were speeding to save your choking, say, child, God's not going to give you a ticket. you know? I think we just have to, you have to like, you have to get to know God, and you'll understand that the rules and laws that He has put in place for us and that He does want us to abide by are for our benefit. And so, I don't know. I really want to like, because I really like, all I could think about while I was reading today's chapters is how I'd love to like sit down and read the chapters for the day and then like actually pray about it and ask God, for help on certain verses, to know deeper, to understand deeper. I'm gonna have to try that in the morning and see, because it's something I'd really like to do. I'd really like to understand more and get deeper. I'm not always able to tell you guys my thoughts in like a clear and concise way, because I'm still like, I have all these questions and thoughts and I'm still trying to work it out in my brain. So it's like difficult for me sometimes to like say what I'm thinking. So sorry about that. It's something I'm working on, but that's, I don't know, part of the process, getting to know God and the Bible and understanding Him and His Word. And, that's why you have to study the Bible. So, anyways, well, I'm going to go to bed. Take some medicine and go to bed. But I will see you guys tomorrow for some more chapters. Good night.